Hey, how y'all doing? I am back. So, um, a lot of times I see people on here talking about like systems and how you need systems to sell, you need systems to market, you need systems. But I never really see people explaining to you what the nuance is of systemization and why by hopefully at the end of this you recognize that as a business you need to hire somebody who can help you systemize your processes, but more importantly, um, it'll help you assess where the blind spots are for you in your business and potentially the revenue gaps, the revenue leaks, and what that can look like for you long term. So, we are going to go ahead and get started. And I was just telling a friend, and she said, you should have scheduled this. Listen. And these parts, sometimes we just have to go with it. So let me. It's been so long since I came on here and presented. So we want to share the screen. Okay. Um, and I want to share this Asana board. All right. So, oh no, that's not the one you. It's not the one I want you guys to see. JK, that's the one I use for my clients. So we want to share screen again for the second time, and we want to do a demo build out. So I'm going to explain to you what you're looking at and why this should excite you. So, why is my screen all blue? What is happening? Oh, can we do this? Why is my screen blue, y'all? um, I'm sure that is blinding for some of y'all, and I have no idea why my screen is behaving this way. And hello to whoever's watching. Can you drop a note in the chat? That would be helpful. Um, can I make it full screen? Is that okay, y'all? I have no idea why this neon border is around me, but let's see. Is it this? I'm trying to. You know what? Let me focus. I'm gonna keep going. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to build out a demo of what it's like to onboard a client. So let me see. Can I take this and put this in a different screen for me, and then you guys can still see it? Yes. Okay. Hey y'all. Thanks for chiming in. Okay. If you are watching, please say hello in the chat. This is going to take about 10 minutes. So step one, I want to talk to you guys. It's 11 of y'all. I want to talk to y'all very quickly about what a build out actually means and what you should be doing with your business. We're going to focus on my favorite thing, and in my opinion, it's the one piece of the business that costs people the most money. It's the most headaches, and it really doesn't. I don't know. It gets ignored. So if you're watching, please say hello wherever you are in the chat. I would love to connect with you guys. Say where you're from, what you do, what questions you have about sales systems. And like I said, today the goal is to take about 10 minutes of your time. Now, a lot of people call it a funnel. I don't like the word funnel. If you're new here, it is my least favorite word. I don't like to call it anything other than the client journey, because when you experience it as a journey versus just like a touch point, I know that it'll instill the confidence that you need to explore what it looks like. And also, funnels are like boxed in, and journeys are very free. They have many paths, there's options, there's like push points. So the first thing that we're going to focus on here is when you are onboarding a client into your own business, okay, because we are turning ourselves into our own clients so we can see what that's like. So step one, okay, if you are onboarding a client, one of the first things I want you to consider is what kind of questions are you asking them? And so for us, one of the first things that we need to know is, so on Asana, right, this is the system that I'm using before you, okay, we're going to call this section. So sections are literally what you think they are, tech, okay? And so in each of these, I'm going to ask them, what do you use for email? Okay, I need to know, what do they use for email? What do you use for texting? Okay, and because I am an efficiency person, what do you use for email? What do you use for text? What do you use for mailers? Because a lot of our clients do still send mail. And what or who is your website host? Okay, now The reason why I want to know these is because this will let me know where they are inside of their internal workings, because they text, they send out mailers, they email. And these are really the three areas I would say that my clients experience the most friction. A lot of them are using the wrong email systems. For example, I had a client who was using Microsoft, what is it called? Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, to send email blasts. That is a hot, good mess. Great for internal blasts, horrible for external communications. What do you use for texting? A lot of people will put right here, my cell phone. What do you use for mailers? Some people are printing out stuff internally. So we need to have a very good understanding of what it looks like for them in terms of communicating with people up front, right? Now, so our first piece of tech is like this type of thing. The next thing that we need to know is, where are they on the internet? So we do socials. Ooh. I'm not gonna bore y'all, but LinkedIn, link, right? The next thing is, I'm gonna, for our purposes, FB, IG, Pinterest, X, TikTok, Snap. Is that all of them? Oh, Threads. Okay. So we want to know each one of their social media links. Now, the cool thing about Asana and what we like to see, because a lot of what we do is we track growth. So in here, we would say, how many connections do you have? I want to give y'all a cheat code. I'm going to tell y'all something real quick. So how many connections do you have? What is the demo breakdown of your audience? i.e., location, occupation, etc. Right? If you ever wanted to know anything about your connections, let me ask you, how many of you guys use LinkedIn? Do y'all of you guys use LinkedIn? If you do, say yes in the chat. If you say no, that's okay too. But hear me out, okay? If you use LinkedIn, do y'all know that you can download all of your connections off of LinkedIn and all of their URLs? One of the things you can do, and this is a freebie cheat code, is you can take that download and you can upload it into ChatGPT, GenSpark, whatever you want to. And you can ask it to audit your breakdown inside of your connections on LinkedIn. So just a little freebie. So the next thing that we need to know about our clients is their social media, right? And so inside of each one of these, we will ask them specific questions about their audience, how often they use it, how often they post. We will get a very clear understanding of what they do per platform, right? Now, here is something that I know a lot of people skip, okay? We like to break down product information. And so I'm going to stop sharing this screen. I'm going to share another screen that we use for our clients. So let me stop sharing, okay? Hey, y'all, full face here. Excited and happy to be here. I'm going to show you a board that we use. I call it the master board, that we are going to share with you today because you are here. So on the master board, this is a much better example of like how we show up for clients, right? So points of contact. We ask our clients up front, who do we need to talk to? What are your emergency contacts? Organizational chart, contracts and stakeholders. We like to know who are our clients, right? Because for some of you guys, you may be dealing with like universities and they have special relationships with secondary organizations or within the school. Maybe you're a government contractor and you need to know who those people are. So getting that information up front is super important. Maybe you are influencing, you work with different brands. We need to know who you're working with, because our first layer of understanding how to make you more money is to understand how you currently make money, because we deal with established businesses. So the next thing we do, what are your logins? Because we want to see what's going on. And so we ask them for every single login that they have accessible for us. If you're wondering, LinkedIn is LinkedIn, Flowdesk is an email provider, Pipedrive is a client relationship manager. This is for our internal, but for other folks, this could be Honeybook. This could be, what's that thing called? Go High Level. It's an unlimited amount of CRMs that exist in this world. For tech, right? We started this. What are you using for email mass blast? What are you using for graphics? What are you using for cold calling? What are you using for your CRM? Because they may not use Pipedrive. CRM is your client relationship manager. That's the system you use to go in and input people's information and have an updated account of how you're interacting with people, what the outcomes were, things like that. What are you using to capture inbound leads? Are you using a landing page? Do you have a lot of our clients have answering services? And then after that, what do they put that? What system are you using for that? How are you tracking outbound leads? So if you guys are making cold calls, how are you tracking that? What are you using to deliver contracts? A lot of our clients are contract based. And so we want to know, are you using, I don't know, Honeybook, Adobe, an attorney? What is it that's making your business run? What are you using for mailers? Again, a lot of our clients sell local. There are so many local millionaires, people who make a lot of money in their area. Okay. It's very possible to enrich your community and add value and see that value end up in your bank account. Okay. Product links. This is a very micro example. Remember when I said we were going to talk about client relationships and also the client journey? Inside of here, what's on their service page? How are they booking you and or purchasing from you? Links to your Etsy, links to every single thing and way that they can buy from you, and inside of the top performing products, put those links in there. Let us know in order of ascending to descending, what are people buying, right? Because we want to know. Now, this is the part that gets people twitching around in their seat, right? But my clients love this because I would say 75% of the time, people are mostly accurate about how they're making money and when. I can say that one of our zones of genius is we can help you figure out how you can be matching or maximizing or exponentially maximizing your income by understanding seasonality, times where you guys are just not really planning for it. So like if summers are slow for you, you should start advertising your summer sale faster. You should be offering a different service, maybe a light version of your full scale infrastructure. We figure out what it is. So we ask them for a 12-month financial review so we can see month over month how much money you've made and what you made it on. And then we ask you specifically for the last quarter because we want to know, very granularly, how much are you making day by day, right? Are you making more money midweek? Are you making more money in the morning? Are you making more money in the evening? Are you a second paycheck company, meaning that most people who buy from you in the middle of the month or towards the end of the month, because at the beginning of the month, most people have mortgage, rent. The big bills usually come out at the beginning of the month. And then the secondary bills like electric, gas, those type of things come out mid-month. And so some companies are mid-month companies. And then there are instances where a lot of universities pay you once a month. So if you sell to professors or folks university attorneys, they get paid once a month. And so you'd just be in a constant state of campaigning. I'll spare y'all, but it's really important for us to know how, when, and where you're making money. Demographics. A lot of our clients are local, but we do have, I would say, an equal distribution of folks who are not local. So where are these people? If we can get age stuff, that's great. But like specifically, where are people buying from you? Because a lot of our clients want to do speaking engagements and in-person events, and they want to scale their business to be more local, even if they aren't local. And so we need to know, for example, I have a client who wrote a book and she wants to go on a book tour. And she was like, oh, I want to come to Chicago. I want to go to LA. And most of her buyers were in Alabama and Louisiana. Why are you coming to Chicago? We would love to have you. I love Chicago. I think it's the best city in the world. But like disproportionately, like for every one person who bought a book in Chicago, there were like 20 who bought it in Alabama. You should be starting your tour there and then eventually expanding to other regions. And now we know where we need to grow, but like just do what makes sense. Who are your top buyers? You should tell me very easily. My top buyers are in financial services. They are people who are agency owners, broker dealers, people like that. Like those are my top buyers, and they have been year over year. My secondary which surprises me all the time after financial services, is people who have an engineering background. Don't ask me, child. I don't question blessings. So who are your top buyers? Because there's a chance that you want to sell to a certain demographic and they aren't buying, but you aren't leveraging the right language, the right timing. You don't understand that buyer behavior. And so we need to see exactly what that looks like, right? And then the top 3 sales funnels / client journey. So most people and businesses are not just listed one place. We have a client that is a beauty supply store. That beauty supply store, we want to increase their mail and local distribution. And so we want to know how are people finding them. And so for 1 month, every time somebody walked in the door, we asked them, how did you find us? Okay. How likely are you to come back? Okay. We see you're buying, I don't know, hair color. Hair color needs to be touched up every 6 weeks. Do you want us to send you a reminder? And with that reminder, what do? We send a coupon. So we try to understand where people find us and then link their buying behavior directly to an incentive to get them to come back, right? That's a very small example of what we've been doing for our client that works out really well. It's a text campaign. It is a treat, okay? So we want to know, how are people finding you? The link to how they're finding you. How long is it taking them to buy from you? Similarly, when we talk about like product linking, how long does it take from the first time you talk to somebody all the way through when they buy? How many emails is that? How many text messages is that? How many hours of manpower is that? Because you might be over nurturing dead leads, or you might be under pursuing warm and hot leads. So we need to understand day to day what the time is spent on sales related services, so we can have this is an honest conversation about what should be happening and how we can improve performance for you and your team. Okay. And remember, this is just like a very simple thing. And for you and your company, do this. Do a year-over-year review. Sit down and see, how long does it take? Go to your Calendly or to your scheduler and see how many emails does it take for you to sell whatever it is that you offer. Like, however you're getting people in, you should have a very clear timeline, door to door, how long does it take you to close a deal? And if you don't have that, you should be reaching out to us and let us figure this out for you, because it does take some time. Okay. Timeline. So now that we understand who's buying from you, the top ways that they buy from you, what is the timeline from the time somebody meets you? How many touch points does it take? And we ask you, what are those touch points? Is it a webinar? Is it a DM? Is it an invitation to an in-person event? Is it a referral network? Like, what is it? And how many touch points does it take for you to close a deal? Contact cadence. How often are you contacting people? Is it one day, then the next day, and then not for 4 days? Is it 1 day, 5 days, 7 days? Like, what does that look like, right? We get very clear about what that means to our clients. What's your inbound strategy? What's your outbound strategy? And in your opinion, what are the gaps, right? Are you struggling to get inbound leads? Do you even have a place to accept inbound leads? Are you struggling to get outbound leads? Okay. And then my personal favorite, and I promise you, this right here is a failure in sales systems all the time. SOPs. So many people do not have strong SOPs. And when I say SOPs, we build out training centers for our clients. So what it should look like on a sales call. This is what a script should look like. These are the questions that you should be asking them. This is how you know somebody's in the right mind frame. This is how you push them back in the right direction. Like, our SOPs are so tight that people pay us to come back into their organization to update their sales SOPs. What should you say? What should you not say? I work with a lot of people who are licensed. And so there are just some things you can't say over the phone. You can't guarantee results. For example, you can't say, I'm going to make you so much money. You literally can't say that, right? So what are the things that you do to produce results on behalf of your clients and on behalf of your team? That's something that we specialize in as well. And then we get into like the marketing side of things. We ask them for everything that we need. We try to do this up front: headshot, logo, again, your website link, because sometimes the website link is different from the sales page, social media links, a one-pager. All of our clients are required to have a one-pager because all of our clients want to raise their brand profile. If they don't have one, we connect them with someone who can facilitate that for them. Any sort of memberships, associations, and professional affiliations. Where are you in this world? Because we can run ads to fellow members. We can run ads inside of that organization's activities. Maybe they have a newsletter. Maybe they have an event coming up. We can do that, right? Philanthropy and volunteer organizations. What you doing? What are you doing to give back to the community? Any awards that you've received, any media mentions and or interviews. We need to know all those things. Product photos and mock-ups. What is it that you have that's making people want to buy? People want to see the behind the scenes. Show us, right? Then if you run any ads, what those ads looks like? Are there any radio ads? I know that people like radio ads. Absolutely. TV ads, print ads, any other campaigns that you've run in the past that have been successful, what do they look like? DM campaigns. If you have somebody in the DMs, what do those messages look like? What is your messaging currently? Because we know that you have been participating and showing up for people. So what does your messaging sound and look like? Okay. And then we get into it. You've been on social media. What's been working? Webinars. If you've done any webinars, what does that look like? This right here is a prime example of what we facilitate for our clients, because in order to have a system, each system has tiny little things like nuts and bolts, and they also have really, really big things inside of the system. And you have a responsibility to your clients and to your team to understand how are people finding you, how can they do business with you, and what that looks like. And so that's what we do for our clients. My name is Chanel Rose. I'm the founder of Closium, and we are a sales infrastructure and enablement company. And what that means for you is sales and branding, okay? We get your brand in front of the people who cannot help but buy from you. And the first step of that, which usually takes a few weeks, is understanding all the ways that somebody can find you, how they can do business with you, and what that looks like. So moving forward, if somebody ever says to you, you need a system, you don't have a system, you are now an informed consumer. Come back to this video as many times as you need to, and listen to all the questions I asked, and start asking yourself those same questions. How do people find me? How long does it take for somebody to buy from me? Do I have the time it takes to make the money I want to make? And most of the time, the answer to that question is no, you don't. You don't have the time it takes to devote to it, and you should hire a company like mine, specifically mine, to help you create the growth that you want. If you have any questions about sales systems, how to build your brand, how to build a brand that sells, let me know. I am here and happy and excited to chat. Otherwise, again, my name is Chanel Rose. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will chat with you soon. Bye.